Welcome everyone to Jimmy John's Field here in downtown Utica, Michigan, and our My Michigan TV pregame show here today. It's the visiting Eastside Diamond Hoppers and the home Utica Unicorns. Jeremy Otto alongside Brendan Shabat to bring you the call here tonight. If you're in the stands, we say hello, and if you're watching at home, we welcome you to another fine broadcast here on the USPBL network. A couple interesting games here this week. Wednesday was quite exciting with the walk-off.
Yeah, these two teams, Hoppers and Unicorns, and it looked like it was going to be Hoppers all the way from the start. They got out to a very early 5-1 lead, and Andrew Verbrugge was shoving on the mound. And for those that aren't around the baseball world, that's a term that we use when a guy just throws strikes and gets outs, and that's pretty much all. He's 7 innings, 9 strikeouts, a fantastic night for him, really fun to watch. The bullpen, though, comes in the 8th, and then the Unicorns do what the Unicorns do. They score 4 in the 8th, and sure enough, no lead is safe with them, but the Hoppers do load the bases and walk it off in the 9th. Sean Lawler with a base hit up the middle that bounced off of Keon Taylor and went into left. It was a really fun night. Unfortunately, it was by myself on the broadcast. Glad to have you back, Jeremy, but it was fun. We had some fun on the comments on Facebook and YouTube, coming again tonight. But yeah, it was good to see the Hoppers pick up a much-needed win, and in that kind of fashion really help boost their spirits at a time where they were teetering. They came off 2 wins against the Beavers on Saturday before this Wednesday's game, but teetering on, okay, are we going to ride the rest of this season and ride this high until we get into the playoffs and be playing baseball, our best baseball at the right time, or do we kind of dwindle down and just limp into the postseason? They got a win that they really needed to.
And a team here today, as we'll talk about with Andrew Verbrugge in a moment in terms of playoff positioning, that needs all the wins they can as well in the Hoppers.
Yeah, they're rooting for the Mammoths and themselves. The Beavers and Unicorns ahead of both of them right now, or both of them ahead of the Hoppers right now at 16-20, but they're fast closing. We talked about it. They've won 3 in a row. They've got a chance to win number 4 tonight. They're going against a Unicorn squad who is kind of beaten up right now. This is their 3rd game in as many days, and they've got another one coming up on Sunday. So it's been a long week for the Unicorns. The Hoppers, they feel energized. They've got one of their best arms on the mound tonight in Derek Eddington. He shoved in his last 2 starts. He's been really good, so we'll see him again tonight. The Hoppers are putting themselves in a good position.
Talking about Eddington, I know we got a little bit of a story about him a little bit later in our My Michigan TV pregame show here today as well, but this pitching staff has the potential to be one of the better ones if they can still keep what they've been doing lately.
It has been all season long, really, and they've dealt with some injuries and some subtractions and some really good additions. You think about Derek Eddington, Harry Orth, Sam Brace has been pretty nice for them out of the bullpen lately. They've been really good, and Eddington and Orth, they're throwing partners together on their off days, and it looks like it's contagious how good they've been. They both threw in the doubleheader on Saturday. They both looked really good. We'll see Orth later in the week before we get to the postseason and this regular season ends, but they've been fun to watch.
Well, credit to you for not flinching on that one. A bee floating over his head if you didn't see it.
Stone cold over here.
Well, I had the chance to talk to Andrew Verbrugge, the fine starter on Wednesday, who went 7 innings, striking out 9 and walking just 1. Here's what he had to say. Well, really nice outing for you the other day on Wednesday, and a nice win for your team as well. Just kind of break it down for us.
Yeah, it all went well. I mean, I just went out there like every start, just try to do my best, stay positive, worship God, and that's all I can do out there, and hope the defense holds up behind us, and hope we can get a few hits, score some runs, and that's all we can hope for.
I feel like baseball in general is full of adjustments. This league is full of adjustments just because you see these guys over and over again. Obviously, in year 2, you know what that's like.
Right, exactly. Facing the same guys every week kind of gets a little difficult here and there, especially that was my 3rd start against the Unicorns in a row, so got to attack them a little differently, kind of mix them up, throwing a few extra shakes here and there to try and throw them off a little bit to try and get the upper hand on them.
Well, something you've added this year is a slider as well, kind of throwing that concurrently with the curveball. Still a little bit heavier curveball, but what is the goal, I guess, with the slider long term for you?
My goal is just to have something harder the other way, like along with the curveball, just to kind of mix in something else, because if my curveball is the only thing going to the left side or the glove side, I think it gives them a little tip off that it's coming. So to have something harder that goes the other way, I think it'll be kind of a good asset to have in the arsenal.
At what point you think in your career you kind of mastered that curveball? Because it's a good one for sure.
Yeah, I've been throwing that ever since, high school. I really had the powerful 12-6 curveball. My coach just kept telling me to get on top of it, and I've been working it ever since. And yeah, I feel like last year I had it going pretty well as well, and it's been working all year for me this year, so I've been happy to keep throwing it.
Obviously, a big stretch run for you guys here as we head towards the playoffs. And as a team, what are you guys trying to accomplish at this point?
Yeah, I mean, we have a chance to get into second place here, even possibly first if the Unicorns keep losing a few. But, yeah, we're just going to keep doing our best, hopefully keep the bats going and keep pitching like we have been, and we should be good to go.
It's kind of an interesting scenario when you maybe clinch the 1 or the 2 seed, because the 1 seed you're sitting all the way to Sunday, the 2 seed you're playing a day early. You think any advantage to either one of those?
Right. Last year being the 2 seed, I think it was good to have momentum going into the championship game instead of just sitting all week, but I think that 2 seed probably has a good best advantage. Like having a game in, they're coming off a win and just ready to go for that final game to try and keep the momentum going.
Thanks so much for joining us here today. Best of luck in your next start as well.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
It's Andrew Verbrugge, one of the fine starters here in the USPBL for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. His Hoppers take on the Unicorns next on the broadcast. And if you're in the stands here today, enjoy the fireworks and the fine baseball coming up here in our My Michigan TV pregame show.
How do these business owners find the time for peace of mind? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with Tryon, one of the nation's top professional employer organizations, provides access to top-tier health care and employee benefit plans and its team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying your time here at Jimmy John's Field for some exciting baseball. But I want to personally invite you to explore, experience, and enjoy even more of what Macomb County has to offer. From shopping local to running or biking on our trails, feasting with family and friends at our restaurants and wineries, there are even opportunities to canoe, kayak, or even relax on our waterways. There is something here in Macomb for everyone. To find your something, visit MakeMacombYourHome.com.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field, everyone. The 15-20 Eastside Diamond Hoppers getting ready to take on the 23-12 Utica Unicorns here today. Jeremy out alongside Brendan Shabat to bring you the call. The broadcast brought to you by the following sponsors: Ascension, Belfour Property Restoration, Budweiser, DTE Energy, Fifth Third Bank, Jarbcom, Jimmy John's, Macomb Community College, McLaren Macomb, McQuaid Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Refrigeration, Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers, Pepsi, Scott's, and UWM. We thank all those fine partners for what they do for this league. Time to take a peek at your starting lineups for today's game. First for the visiting Eastside Diamond Hoppers here today. Alex Pupp has been at the top of the lineup nearly each game for Ryan Kotke and John Dombrowski's squad. He's there once again as he plays shortstop. Blake Porter bats second and plays center. Yadi Rivera in the 3 holes. He plays third base. Noah Marcoux will bat fourth and DH here today. Joe Burke in the 5 holes. He plays first. Bryant Schellenbarger hits sixth as he plays right. Scott Combs, who's starting to make a name for himself at the catching spot for the Hoppers, hitting seventh. Sean Lawler bats eighth and plays left, and Christian Fedko will round out the order and plays second base here today. As for the home Utica Unicorns, it's John Hodo leading things off and playing second base. Luis Attilis bats second and plays short. What a rise it's been to him to the top of the lineup of late. Drew Galassi will bat third and play center. Coming off another fantastic catch the other day, Ari Sikopoulos will bat fourth and play first. Noah Childress DHs in the 5 hole. Bolin, Lambert, De La Cruz, and Parkinson at the bottom, as Parkinson catches the pitches of Adam Riggleman here today. Time for your pitcher comparison brought to you by Ascension. It's Eddington for the Hoppers, Riggleman for the Corns.
Both guys have been pretty good for their respective squads. Eddington has become one of the best pitchers in the league when you look at the ERA and the walks or the lack thereof. Just 9 walks to 57 strikeouts for him this year. He has the best strikeout to walk ratio and the second best walk rate of any pitcher in the league. He's really been fun to watch, possibly adding a slider. Talked to him and Harry Orth. Not too confident that we'll see it tonight, but fastball, curveball, splitter is where he's been this season, and if he has a fourth pitch, a slider, and Harry Orth was giving it more credit than Eddington was, he was being a little humble about it, but he said it comes in hard and it moves. It could be a nasty pitch for him.
Time for your keys to the game. Brendan, what do you have here today?
Well, the big key for the Unicorns is going to be Riggleman. This offense has continued to do what it's done all season long. They've had 15 runs in the last 2 games, but both have been losses, and that's in large part because the pitchers have just struggled early in the games. Obviously, the Unicorns give up 4 runs in the first inning yesterday, and they give up a few runs in the first 3 innings on Wednesday to these Hoppers. They need to stretch these starters out. They haven't been able to do that. This has been the most important week where they would love to have a day where, okay, Montanero goes out there, Riggleman, Calipetro, anybody, go out there, throw 4 good innings with, 2 runs or less, 5 good innings, something like that. And they really need that out of Adam Riggleman tonight. For the Hoppers, they just have to continue doing what they're doing. They should be confident in their guy on the mound. Eddington, one of the most valuable things about him is his reliability. He's been consistent all season long. Hasn't really had too many blow-up starts. He should be able to do his regular thing, and with that, the defense behind him has to be sound, and the offense has to continue on the track that it's been on in the last few games. 6 runs on Wednesday, 6 on Game 2 and Saturday, and 5 in Game 1. So it'll be important if that offense can continue. We're going to step aside now for the national anthem. It'll be first pitch back here on the USPBL Network on the other side of the break.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA Councils.
They call me Prospects,
Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Welcome back to the ballpark, everyone. Jeremy Otto alongside Brendan Shabat to bring the call here tonight on a fine Fireworks Friday. Nice rendition of God Bless America while you were away. Also, good rendition of our national anthem by the Rochester Adams Marching Band here today. I'm sure just preparing for next week for the start of high school football here around the state of Michigan.
Yeah, we're about ready to get going. It's almost fall. School is starting to be back in session for some places. That means it's football season right around the corner.
Always some good games on tap here week one. With the various kind of showcasey type things that happen around town. Wayne State, one of them. Usually have some at the University of Michigan as well. Here's Adam Riggleman on the mound to start for the Utica Unicorns here today. They're looking to get some length out of them.
Yep, that's exactly what they're going to need. That's their key to a victory. We talked to Adrian Guzman pregame today, and that's what he wanted, and that's what he's wanted from every starter that they've had this week. And it just hasn't quite worked out that way, and perhaps no better day to do it. And Riggleman is kind of their main guy when you look at all of their starters as the one who you say, okay, he can go 4, 5, maybe 6. He's done that before. More times than he hasn't, has gone more than 4 innings. Once has gone 6. But they're really going to need that tonight against the Hoppers team, looking to add their 4th win in a row.
83 degrees here in Utica, Michigan. It's a slight wind of 9 miles an hour as it blows out to left center to begin things here today. 41% humidity. But a fairly pleasant day when the sun hasn't been fully blasting on you.
And we got some wind today. Haven't had that in a while. Even on our rain delay. Once the rain came and gone, it was just limp. It was dead. No wind.
Riggleman with the 4-seam fastball, slider, sinker, and changeup. Sinker has been used very sparingly, mostly 4-seam fastball, slider. Also has a curveball that he goes to. Alex Pup, Blake Porter, Yadi Rivera, top 3 in this lineup here today. As the first pitch is fired at 7:04 outside at 90 miles an hour there.
Slider has been his main strikeout pitch this season. A guy who we talked about earlier in the year. Doesn't use the fastball as much as some of the other guys in the league. Has worked on it a little bit more of late, trying to build off that fastball. We talked about it, football coming around. Make a football analogy, establish the run game. Establish the fastball early, play the breaking ball off of that.
Fastball in for strike 2. What would you do as a coordinator? Would you throw the ball a bunch or?
Yeah, I have a lot of fun throwing the ball. I've made some bad decisions in the video games that I've played over the years, but it's no fun to run the ball.
Dipped in for strike 2.
Maybe in real life it'd be a little different. Video games, you can get away with some stuff like that.
It's kind of interesting to see where even local teams have gone in terms of that over the last 10 years. A league that we've seen a lot, the Catholic High School League. Here's the 2-2 to Pup. Pulled away 3-2 on Alex. That was a run-heavy league. I mean, you talk about the Detroit Catholic Centrals of the world, the Orchard Lake St. Mary's, Brother Rice even back in the day. 2 3-back sets on the regular. And the teams knew they were running the ball, just couldn't stop them. But the days of that are almost over. Fly ball to left. That one hanging up there, but it's going to loop foul deep onto the Chevrolet Pavilion. Boy, that thing is packed out there today. It's hopping, isn't it?
Yeah. Somebody's birthday or something. There's a big crowd.
We didn't get the invite, huh?
No, I guess not. Yeah, it's still pretty run heavy here in the state of Michigan, but we do have more athletes and more athletic players nowadays that we'll see some teams throw the ball. We've seen some good receiver products come out of this state.
Charity hop there for Sakopoulos as the first out is recorded at first base here in the first inning. Check the defense behind Adam Riggleman here today, brought to you by 3-Dimensional Services Group. It's Bolin in left, Galassi in center, De La Cruz in right. Lambert and Sakopoulos on the corners, Hodo and Attilis up the middle with Matt Parkinson behind the dish here today. 3-Dimensional Services Group, prototype, production, proven. That wind blowing a little bit more gustily to left center as Porter takes a good hack at a first pitch fastball there. All the pitches for Riggleman have some plus spin on them. I'd say above league average. 0-1 on the ground to Hodo. 2 up and 2 down here in the first.
Well, this is exactly the start that Adam Riggleman needed. The first inning has been a bugaboo for Unicorns pitchers in this week. And quickly 2 up and 2 down. It's just how you'd like to go. If you're going to stretch somebody out, you need short innings. He's on his way to one here to start.
All the outfielders deep against Yadi Rivera here. First pitch curveball dips away, 1-0. Tipped into the glove. Fastball velocity is maxed out at 91 this year. He's maxed out today at 90. Riggleman locked in, trying to work quickly. Now the 1-1, high and away. 2-1 on Yadi Rivera. 244 average, 8 extra base hits to his credit. Tough hop for Attilis. He stayed with it. That's an easy 1-2-3 breeze for Riggleman here in the first. Ground out, and hey, a ground out. Whatever way gets it done for the Unicorns here, looking to get length from Adam today. Now down to Kara in the stands here today.
Jimmy John's Field. It's a beautiful day for baseball and a beautiful day for fireworks. So to kick off our day today, JJR Field General, sponsored by Michigan First Credit Union, went sniffing around the stands and found our friend Ellen today. Ellen came in from Connecticut, and her and her family are all here today watching this amazing game. So they're all our little sweethearts of the game. Now before I send you guys back to Johnny, I want to send a big thank you to Thrifty Florist for this beautiful bouquet of flowers for Ellen over here. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Let's go back to you, Johnny.
It's Kara Wolfbauer tossing it back to Johnny G, our public address announcer here at Jimmy John's Field. Now time for your Freaky Fast Facts, presented by Jimmy John. Stop signs used to be yellow. Whoa. Didn't know that one. Do you know that one?
That is an alternate universe. Wow.
A chameleon's tongue is twice as long as its body. And only 2 national flags have the color purple on them. Interesting. Can you name them? I certainly can't.
No.
What national flags? This is what Google's for.
Yeah, there's something that will answer all our questions.
Color purple. Dominican Republic and Nicaragua. There you go.
Oh, Nicaragua.
Time to check defense here behind Derek Eddington, brought to you by 3-Dimensional Services Group. Prototype production proven. Lawler in left, Porter is in center. Schellenbarger is in right. Rivera and Burke on the corners with Fedko and Pup completing the double play combination here today. Scott Combs, the catcher for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers here tonight. Combs has been getting a few more of the starts going forward. I think kind of the belief is out of Whit Hughes, who got a lot of time, certainly at the beginning of the year. They think, another year of development here in the USPBL because he's on the younger side. I believe he just turned 22 years old, which I feel like where we've been trending this year, that's definitely on the younger half of things. And part of that is because of all the extra years floating around in college. So you get guys spending a fifth and sometimes even a sixth season in college. Otherwise, they'd be here and or wherever else. But so that'll have an impact. They've also kind of accepted some guys in, lesser of a steadfast rule in terms of, this is the amount of games you can play, which is true in the past, or this is the age limit. We've seen a bit of that stretched based on a situation-by-situation basis, which I think is smart. First pitch to Hodo obliterated the bats right back to Eddington. He's like, my goodness, how did that even fly out of my hands?
Hodo has been unlucky lately with the bats. He had one broken earlier this week as well. And hasn't gotten one to die a hero either.
That's the best kind, right?
Yeah. You were you here? You might have been here that day when McFadden broke his Savannah Bananas bat.
I don't know.
I think that was Saturday.
Was it a big smash like that one?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I don't think I was here for that. Ooh, that's in on the noggin of Luis Attilas. Quick reflexes pay off there.
Something about him. I know it's nothing personal, but I talked to him about this. He's been hit by a pitch 9 times this year. That's second most in the league. He's another one of those guys who would just, I don't know, he's a magnet for the baseball sometimes. He doesn't stand particularly close to home plate. Not more than your average player.
Strike one in. Another 1-1. Fastball at 89 in for strike two. Four-seam fastball, curveball splitter. Splitter used only about 10% of the time for Eddington. Heavy fastball for sure. 1-2, shot the opposite way. Long run for Fedko. Little scoop and score for out number 2.
Yeah, Derek has been relying on the fastball a lot lately and mixing a curveball in there here and there. Said his 2 starts ago was almost, he said he would argue it was probably almost 95% fastball, but it's gotten the job done for him, and the mix of the curveball and splitter on occasion will get you a much needed strikeout. And even talked about adding a slider. That'd be pretty cool.
It'd be a really tough arsenal overall. You got a lot of different factors there. As the 92-mile-an-hour fastball zings in for strike one. Gets a lot of swing and miss with that splitter. Obviously a much smaller sample size, but
that is what the pitch is designed to do. So be willing to go out on a limb and say that trend would continue if it was thrown more often.
Shea Galassi well off the line and left. Lawler basically in the left center field gap right now. Here's the 0-2. Fastball high. One, 2, splitter high. Didn't get that fade.
The thing about that splitter is it's a hard pitch to throw outside or inside on the hitter. You really have to put it in the strike zone and let it drop below so it looks like a fastball that's in the zone and they swing on top of it.
There's the fastball, reigns high here on Drew Galassi.
It's not very different from many other pitches. That's kind of the point of the sliders and the cutters and the curveballs. You want them to look like a fastball out of the hands. The splitter just does it for a little bit longer, and that's what makes it such a deadly pitch.
Galassi looks at the ball outside. And all of a sudden, after the 2 easy outs, split bat by Hodo, then the ground out to Fedko. A walk to Drew Galassi.
That's an impressive walk for Galassi, able to lay off those splitters after falling behind in that count and working his way back. And I think Eddington was going to nibble and not give Drew anything that he could do damage with, and Drew wouldn't chase.
Eddington's a guy that has the highest strike to walk out, or walk to strikeout ratio. There we go. Here in the USPBL this year, so not something he does very often. Only walk number 10 on the campaign for him through considerable innings. I mean, he's worked himself all the way near to the upper echelon in terms of innings pitched.
Yeah, I mean, he averages less than 2 walks per 9 innings. But that just goes to show you how dangerous of a hitter Galassi and the rest of this Unicorns lineup is. You have to be careful with them and really be smart about how you mix your pitches when you throw a certain pitch and where it is. And the one thing you absolutely cannot do is throw a mistake pitch. You can't leave something over the heart of the plate, especially off speed. We talked with Shane McCaddy, who came on last night, and asked him, I know you don't want to go give away too many secrets, but how would you, he was a pitcher, how would you pitch to these guys? And he said, well, the one thing you can't do is fall behind in the count. And luckily for Eddington, even though he walks Galassi, was ahead in that count, ahead here to Ari, got ahead in the first 2 counts to Attilis and Hodo.
And that's not necessarily just, for the batter that's at the plate. It's because the lineup is so deep as well, because you can't afford to walk Sakopoulos because you have Childress next, then Boland, then Lambert.
And you look at, base runners. That's the big key as well.
1-2, whip and a miss. Fastball at the top of the zone. And what does he do? He comes right back and strikes out Ari Sakopoulos. That is more like Derek Eddington here in the bottom of the first inning. Still scoreless through 1.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
To the top of the second inning we go. Riggleman, who worked a 1-2-3 first inning, used just 15 pitches overall. We'll throw to Noah Marcoux, Joe Burke, and Bryant Schellenbarger here in the second. Eddington in the last half as well. Got 2 easy outs to begin the inning, then the walk to Drew Galassi and the strikeout to Ari Sakopoulos. The strikeout coming immediately after the walk as well, which was on a kind of a 3-2 nibble count.
Kind of just back to our point before that inning ended, too. The big thing about base runners being on and why it's so valuable that Derek Eddington doesn't walk too many guys is sometimes you'll get unlucky. You'll leave a mistake pitch. It's just going to happen. Or a guy will just make really good contact on a pitch that isn't usually a home run and take it deep. And that doesn't hurt as much when there's nobody on in front of him. If you're going to give up a home run, you'd obviously prefer it be a solo shot. And that, for the most part, is how Eddington has kept the ERA low. He's given up 4 home runs this year, but just a 2.47 ERA.
This guy has hit safely in 4 of his last 5 games, Noah Marcoux, average creeping up just a shade below 300. How about that?
Smacked a home run on Wednesday against these Unicorns over to the berm and right.
Hit his first professional home run a couple weeks ago. And at that point, I think it's something that the whole staff had kind of been waiting for, just how good some of his BPs have been and showing that simple power with that swing. Here he strikes out, though. Looks at a K, and that's 4 up and 4 down against Adam Riggleman now. Here's Joe Burke. 6 home runs to speak of for him.
And it really should be like 9 or 10 if they hadn't played the Unicorns so much and Drew Galassi hadn't been in center field all season long. He robbed Burke on Wednesday of a grand slam and has done that 2 or 3 times this year just to Joe.
Kind of talked about this before coming on the air here today. I'm not really sure what more Drew Galassi has to show in this league. Obviously, he went through a little bit of a struggle point last year after the really hot start and the good defensive play as well. Hit 8 home runs in nearly a month and a half, or whatever it ended up being. But at the end of the year, really turned it back around and got back to hitting it up the middle and his singles as that one dips in for strike 2. I'm not sure that Burke was a huge fan of that.
I'm going to be honest with you, Jeremy, I wasn't either. But yeah, Drew is the definition of a 5-tool guy. And hits for power, hits for average. He'll get stolen bases. He's got speed, both offensively and defensively. We know what he can do out there in center. That's because of his speed and his closing speed, his leaping ability. He'll work the walk because of how dangerous his bat is.
Popped up to right. De La Cruz going over. Sikopoulos coming out. My goodness, that could have been a highlight reel play. Ari Sikopoulos ranging behind the first base bag, and
he's had a few like that this week. Just off his glove, tough plays to make that you'd be impressed if he made, and don't fault him if he doesn't. And that's another one.
So Burke still alive after the leadoff strikeout to Noah Marcoux here in the second. Bryant Schellenbarger on deck. Scott Combs to follow him. The inning really explodes offensively. These two pitchers have been on point thus far, though. Rocks back the 2-2. Little whittler to Lambert. Plays it on the short hop there and fires over to first. 5 up and 5 down for Riggleman now. So here's Bryant Schellenbarger now. Trying to get the first hit on the board for either of these two teams here tonight. Beautiful 83-degree day. What'd the temperature end up last night after the rain? Kind of cool off? Or?
A little bit. I had the pullover on.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Well, it was raining. I had the pullover on and then just never took it off. So a little, don't quite have my natural thermometer on point there. But I want to say around 70. Cooled off decent amount.
One high. Slider snaps away from Schellenbarger. 4 groundouts and a strikeout thus far for Adam Riggleman through an inning and 2/3. Here's the 2-1. Oh, that one barely nicked. 2-2 on the right fielder now.
No walks either. Through 5 batters, working on 6. That's always a good sign.
2-2, little excuse me swing. Hodo has been busy so far here today. His second put out in as many innings. Another 1-2-3 breeze for Adam Riggleman here in the second on the USPBL Network.
And scan that QR code for a chance to win 4 tickets for front row tickets to a USPBL championship game this year. All right, let's send it right back to Johnny. Thanks.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
0-0 as we head to the bottom of the second inning here tonight. Childress, Bolin, Lamberts to bat here. Childress trying to get some tempo for each of these two offenses in this game. Eddington with a nice first inning, just a walk with 2 outs after he had recorded the first 2, and then the strikeout to Sakopoulos.
Well, if Childress's muscle memory is short, going back to his last at-bat last night, that'd be a good start. He had a solo shot over to the Chevy Pavilion and left. Wasn't quite enough for the Unicorns. They gave up 4 in what would have been the last half inning to the Mammoths, trailing by a run. They won that one 12-10.
Now the 1-1 to Noah. Shot on the ground. Can Fedko get over? Sprawling play. Gets up. Fires to first. What a play.
That was a really nice pitch by Eddington, a curveball that you could tell caught Childress a little bit off guard. I think he hung it a little bit, and Childress tried to jump on that. And sometimes as a pitcher you can get lucky. They don't expect it to be that good of a pitch, and they don't put a good swing on it. That's kind of what Childress did there. But how about Fedko? The impressive thing to me was that he dives, puts a glove on the ball, and then as he rolls over, loses control of the ball, but still had the awareness to grab it and throw to first.
Understandable that you lose control of the ball after you do the full stop, drop, and roll as well, as Bolin swings through strike 1. .91-mile-an-hour fastball outside. We saw as high as 92. That was once back in the first inning. He's been up to 93 this year. Now the even pitch. Club to center, a base hit. The first for any team here today.
Boy, Bolin's really feeling himself right now. 3 for 4 with a walk and a 3-run home run yesterday. 5 RBIs total, and starts tonight with a base hit.
He had family in attendance not too long ago. I think he hit his, was it his first or second home run? I think it was his second.
It was his second, yeah.
But, I mean, you talked about it. You dug up that story with Drew Galassi as well, how he kind of reset going home. Obviously, Bolin's family coming here to see him, but it can help. Fastball in the inner half. Lollipops back.
I think an interesting thing that Drew mentioned about it was he kind of alluded to it, but seeing your family and your loved ones that you haven't seen in a while for some of these guys going back home, it reminds you that there's things bigger than baseball and more important, and takes your mind away from the game. And I think a lot of people don't quite give as much credit to this sport as to how mental it is and how simple and easygoing your approach needs to be. And we really just need to make sure you're having fun and not thinking too much. Drew is one of the guys that does that, and he's been one of the most successful players in this league.
Lambert maybe not seeing pitches as well as he would like in that second at bat. He took 2 called strikes in the row, and that is the second K for Eddington here tonight. Now Adam De La Cruz will make his way to the plate. Right fielder here today for Jim Essian's team. First pitch fastball low.
Can't help but feel like there's a little bit of pressure on the Unicorns here in this second inning. They get their first hit for either team in the game. Get a runner on. You want to try to bring that guy around if you can. You're not going to have too many opportunities against this guy on the mound.
Strike 1. Hasn't used the splitter and or the slider that much in this game. Kind of true to form to him thus far, but it'll fire back to first as Bolin makes it back. Reminder, you can chime in on the chat section of Facebook and YouTube. Here's the 1-1, swing and a miss. You can also download that My Michigan TV app as well. Easily watch all our games on your TV, smart TV that is. Now the 1-2. Fastball at 90, just missed. Maybe the late frame there by Combs interrupted that call. Not quite sure, but now the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Hung the splitter, but it danced downwards just enough to get De La Cruz swinging. 3 Ks for Eddington through 2. Just 1 hit allowed on the USPBL network.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
Jeremy Otto back with you here. Look at your dance crew of the USPBL. Now happy to be joined by my buddy, Earl Cureton. It's a little early to be seeing you, isn't it? On a headset together?
Yeah, it's in a different world.
Well, Earl throughout the first pitch here today, the former Piston and NBA vet, played for University of Detroit Mercy here locally as well, was recruited by Dick Vitale. I guess let's start with that. I mean, you know, it's good to see Dick back healthy. I think he just tweeted the other day he had another test, cancer-free. So that's a good thing.
And that's great news. You know, he's really went through a lot, you know, over the last couple of years, and it's great to have him back. I know college basketball can't wait to get him back in the booth, broadcasting games, because you know, he does such a fabulous job at doing it, and so much energy.
Well, he gave you your nickname as well.
Named me the Twirl. I mean, a lot of people don't know he was a great coach at the University of Detroit, and you know, we had some good teams there. He spent 4 seasons there, and 5 pros came out of that program, and you know, he did a great job, and then went on to the Pistons to be the head coach there, and then became a broadcaster. And a lot of people don't know about his coaching career, but the coaching really helped him in broadcasting.
Scott Combs to lead things off for the Hoppers in the third inning. It'll be Combs, Lawler, and Fetco 7, 8, 9. Riggleman has done a nice job here today. That one popped up. Chance for Parkinson, but no sink foul. And of course, Earl and I work Detroit Mercy games together as well. This is going to be year 5 for us coming up.
Yeah, but they're going back quick and fast, and 5 new teams.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's been really interesting over the last 5 years.
Yeah, the transfer portal has definitely made things interesting.
Yeah, that's a lot of guys are jumping, and a lot of teams are changing. The whole Horizon League is changing this year, so it'll be a lot different.
Here's the 0-1 from Combs. Slider away. 1-1 now on Scott, the catcher. Riggleman working very fast. He's retired all 6 he's faced so far here today. Now the 1-1. Slider low. Chatting with Earl Cureton throughout the first pitch here today. So your performance is viewed as what?
Well, I'm more comfortable up here. I'll put it that way. I was nervous. I went out there. I haven't thrown a baseball in quite a while. And, I was just happy to get it there.
That one rocketed to left center is pulling. Can't quite get to it. Combs heading to second.
Slipped on something wet out there.
And maybe the edge of the warning track. It rained a lot yesterday, as we talked about, but not much of anything to speak of here today. Now they're going to make sure that he's okay out there. But Combs with a leadoff hit here in the third inning. So you got to throw a couple warm-up tosses. Did that make you more nervous?
Well, it's different because, the warm-up, the guy was standing up when I was throwing the pitches. So to throw it to the catcher that's down there, you got to get it right on target. I mean, I've seen pitchers throw it away, professional pitchers, so I understand why now.
Is that the first time you've ever done that, or you've done that before?
I was here a few years ago, and I did a lot better the first time I came down. This one kind of took a little bounce, and God told me I had the right sport.
You have your Unicorns garb on.
Yeah, I went and got the gear. I went and got it. Well, I look good anyway. I was dressed nice. I don't know about that pitch. Yeah.
1-0, a little pop fly. Lambert has a shot near the dugout. Oh, he makes the play. He falls down the dugout as well. Looked like he kind of gave up.
Well, he timed that up perfectly. I mean, he got right to the end right there, stopped, caught the ball, and a couple steps down.
Smile with the umpire as he makes his way back. It looked like he almost thought that it would be a little bit further, and then it kind of tucked in towards the railing. He realized that he could still make the play. First time I've ever seen that here.
He tightrope. It's like walking the baseline, the sideline.
So 1 down with the runner on second base here in the third inning as we continue our conversation with NBA vet Earl Cureton, my broadcast partner at Detroit Mercy as well on the television side of things. Well, one interesting thing that we're going to be able to cover this year here in college hoops is the infielders are in now with Combs on third. That one in there for strike one. We saw a player come back after he entered the transfer portal, Antoine Davis.
Yeah, I mean, that's good for Detroit Mercy that he came back 4 fabulous years, and we've seen some shows that he put on throughout the last 4 years. And, he tested the waters like a lot of players are doing, and he went around and decided to finish this last year. And I think it's really good for him because all of the records and everything he set has been with Detroit Mercy, and I think it's only right for him to continue to build on that.
0-2 here to Fedco. Runs at a premium in this one. That's why you see the Unicorns bring their infielders in, and every win important for them as we head down the stretch run here. What do you think it would have been like in your day if we had something like the transfer portal today?
Wow. I mean, it's really changing basketball. I mean, the NCAA, I know a lot of the coaches, it's, even rough on like junior colleges now because, and high school players. A lot of high school players are, having trouble, getting scholarships now because all these guys are transferring from different schools, and schools are going after people in the portal versus going after getting a true freshman.
2-2 popped him up, and we'll reach the outfield. Combs going to tag up. Probably won't test the arm of De La Cruz. He bluffs as that's in there for out number 2. Brings up the top of the order, and Alex Pup now. And obviously, you're still very active with the Detroit Pistons as well. I know you had an event tomorrow. The Pistons will be here tomorrow, kind of for a Pistons Day.
Yeah, I talked to them. They're excited about it. Everybody will be out. The dancers going to be here. Hooper will be here. They're all going to come out. And we had a great time. We were here a few years ago, and we had a great time. with the fans and entertaining out here. So I'm sure they'll get a treat from those guys tomorrow. Wish I could be here. I'm going to the Seniors Hall of Fame tomorrow. So
you're not a senior though.
We won't talk about that.
Pup with the big whiff there.
Senior Olympics. So that these guys are serious. I would be guest speaker there, and they got from volleyball to baseball, basketball, and they they really compete. And it's great because they stay in shape and yet they still do something that they love, and they'll get honored and all kind of good things that happen tomorrow.
As for our local viewership here, though, obviously the Pistons, I think trending in the right direction is the right words. Where do you view where they are right now?
Oh, I love it right now. I mean, it's kind of a reboot. A lot of good young players. We had the #1 pick with Cade Cunningham. So and this year we got two solid players coming in. This year as well, and it's young players, Sadiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart, and those guys right there. So it's some young guys, and Troy Weaver's doing a great job of piecing all that together. So I'm excited about it. A lot of energy, and it should be entertaining this year.
It's kind of interesting because you never know when a new general manager takes over kind of what approach they will take, but he pretty much cleaned house. He wanted his guys in there.
Oh, there's no question about it. A lot of people were kind of surprised with Jeremy Grant, moving, but he's looking, it was a good move come draft day because he was able to pull off, the big trade. Jaden Ivey coming in, which is a great player from Purdue. They didn't know if they had a chance to get him, but they did. And young 18-year-old that we're going to get, Durham. It's only 18 years old. He won't be 19 until I think November or something like that. And he's an exciting frontline player as well.
Well, you know what that's like to grow up quickly, huh?
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, these guys are coming in, and the team is, right now they're in L.A. training. They'll be back in the summer league. They played out in the summer league, so they're getting ready. They're trying to, they develop some chemistry, and I'm looking forward to the season because I think they're going to be really exciting. Cave almost. Rookie of the year last year. I thought he had an excellent second half. Bar injury the first half of that season, I think he would have been rookie of the year. So we got some exciting players.
That last out was your Fifth Third Bank. Fifth Third out of the game. Now down to Kara for a second.
Mascot, but not right now. She means business, right, Gretel? Mm-hmm. All right. We're going to take off. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Go to second. Go. There we go, Gretel. Lancelot's close behind. All right, she's going. Keep going, Gretel. Go 3. All right, guys, she needs your help. Let's go. Come on home, Gretel. Come towards me. Come for the high five. Keep going. And she saved. Yes, congratulations. That's okay, Lance. That was a super close one. All right, let's go back to you, Johnny. Let's get ready for the third inning.
Now that's your DTE Energy Kid Race the mascot here today. Kara Wolflower tossing it back to your public address announcer, Johnny G. We continue our conversation with Earl Cureton, NBA vets. Detroit Mercy Hall of Famer as well, has his number retired. What was that like a couple years ago?
Oh, that was great. I got a chance to see all of my, high school friends, my family. A lot of people came out and supported me, and it's just a great honor anytime you can get your jersey retired. I never imagined that growing up here in the city, so it was just a great night. It's a night that I'll never forget. And man, what fun! This is a lot of fun out here at the baseball games. I mean, they have so much activities going on. I mean, the fireworks are going to be afterwards. It's been a while since I came out, but the fans seem to really, really, really enjoy this, and it's good baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. Not too far away from you either. Just kind of right down the highway. Do you deal with any of that the cruise traffic coming in?
None at all. I was surprised. I'm worried when I got down the road, but I mean, I came straight here with no problem, and it was great. I thought maybe I might run into some stuff coming in because getting that highway can really get crowded at times, but today, it all worked out.
There you go. The floodgates cleared for you.
Yeah, everything but my pitch.
9-1-2 due up for the Unicorns here in the third. It's Parkinson Hodo Attilis as Parkinson rips one foul. Back in the third for Riggleman. He had his out streak snapped to begin things. It was Combs who lit it off with a single plus the error. And then 3 straight outs, including a really nice play by Lambert, who leaned in his way into the dugout on the top steps there. 1-1 quickly on Parkinson. The pitch, fastball away.
He's lone and lean, and the way he's pitching that ball, it's like Randy Johnson out there on the mound.
Well, this Hoppers team, they've had a few injuries here or there, but this is a basketball team. I mean, we got 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" out there.
Yeah, because he's really stretching out and getting it across the plate, making it difficult for you to hit the ball.
Any other sports on your horizon if basketball didn't work out back in the day or no?
Cross-country runner in high school.
Yeah,
that was a lot of work. Translated well to help me with my basketball, but I don't think I would have tried to make a career out of that. Didn't play anything else. I didn't play football. I was kind of small. I got that growth spurt late and didn't have much size when I was a kid.
Wipeout slider on the outside corner. 3 straight strikeouts now for Eddington here between the second and the third. And Parkinson saying that he maybe nicked that ball. They're going to check now with Gary Wagenschutz at first. And I'm not going to say he touched it here. Trying to take a peek at the replay. It didn't really look like he got a piece of that, but.
Yeah, right at the end, maybe it caught his bat.
Combs sold it. The fellow catcher on the other end, but 1 up and 1 down here in the third. Brings up John Hodo, top of the order. That's the 4th K in total for Eddington now, just improving that league lead walk to strikeout ratio. Hodo lined out right back to Eddington, shattered his bat back in the first inning. Here's a 1-0. Slider tips in for strike 1. What's your best Dick Vitale story that you can share?
Wow, it's a lot of them. I mean, Dick's just got so much energy. I can tell you one now that just happened that was pretty amazing. In the Jimmy V, he's got cancer patients that he brings in for the Jimmy V dinner that he has every year. And
at his house, right?
No, he has it. It was at the Four Seasons where he had it at, but he would line these kids up on the stage, and I tell you, he'd do a broadcast like you never heard before. And he knew every single treatment these kids had, what kind of cancer they had, when they had it, how many times they had it, and he went right down the line with 10 or more kids describing everything that these kids had went through. Which was just it was just great to watch him do that and see how knowledgeable he was of just keeping up with all the kids that's suffering. So he's really into raising the money for the Jimmy V Foundation and fighting cancer. And unfortunately, he had a fight with it himself, and he's made it through, and he's going to continue to keep doing that.
Down to earth, I guess, is what kind of screams right there, just off that.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a ball of energy. I mean, they had his special on and his story, and Vitale is just a guy that's just a positive person. Motivational speeches every day that he gives online, and he just uplifts you every day. He's got something positive to give you.
Nearly nips Attilis. He got a fastball high and in, one of the harder fastballs that Eddington had thrown in the first, got out of the way out of it. Ground ball to Fedko for the second out in the first for Attilis. Here's the 1-0. Fastball away. 2-0 now. Obviously, a lot of professional athletes talk to professional athletes and interact with them. Any baseball stories over your time of guys that entered your locker room or vice versa?
No, I'm just, I go to Tigers games. I'm a Tiger fan from way back when the World Series back in the day in the 60s when Willie Horton and Al Kaline and all those guys, that was one of my favorite Tiger teams. And, you got to cherish that. That was after the riots and brought the city back together. And, I mean, it was just great. And I was about 10 years old when that happened. But it was incredible. But I remember that lineup and, more so than I do, the recent champs that they had, because Norm Cash, and we just lost the great Al Kaline. And, I mean, that was a team that, for the ages for Detroit.
That's one guy, Al Kaline, that you talk about. I interned for the Tigers back in 2018, and he was friends with Jim Price, who works with Dan Dickerson on the radio. And he'd often walk in the booth and say, yeah, I golfed 9 holes yesterday at 80-plus years old. He was another guy that stayed active for a long time.
Yeah, I had a chance to see him. We were doing the license plate thing. And he was doing pretty good then. And great guy. We had a good conversation, and that was one of my favorites, along with Willie Horton and Bill Freehand, all those guys.
Yeah, really good names. I know you always remind me, you played with the Bad Boys before they were the Bad Boys.
Oh, yeah. I was there when they first got started. When Chuck Daly first came in. Chuck Daly actually coached me in Philadelphia and brought me back to Detroit when he came. And I had a chance to play with Isaiah and Bill and Vinny and all those guys before they became real famous.
Continuing our chat with Earl Cureton here in the third inning. 1-1 the count on Galassi as that one scoots foul. Was there ever a feeling that they would become that group, or that was kind of a surprise?
Well, when I came here, they would turn the corner. They hadn't made the playoffs. My first year here, we won 49 games and was one game away from winning our division that year. And you could see in the air, with Isaiah, with the energy he brought, and Lambeer, they were all on the verge of making something big happen, and adding a few more players made it. Wow.
Fetko with a nice play earlier, but can't keep that one in front. Now runners on first and second here with 2 outs in the third. It's kind of coming out of nowhere as Eddington had struck out 3 in a row, or make that 4 in a row actually, between the second and third, and the walk and a single now.
They have to take advantage when they get people on base right now with the way this guy's pitching the baseball. So when you get them on, you want to try to bring them home.
I think there was something to be said about how the Unicorns brought the infield in the last half, realizing how much runs were at a premium here tonight. Still none on the board thus far, just 3 hits through 2 2/3 of innings. Ari Sikopoulos struck out back in the first. Here's the first pitch to him. First pitch slider in for strike 1. What would you be if you were a baseball player?
Probably in the outfield, for sure. I know I wouldn't be at first, second, and third. I'd probably be an outfielder if I was a baseball player. I was pretty fast at running. I probably could run the bases pretty good if I would have decided to play. My father really wanted me to play baseball. And
really?
I didn't want to do it. The ball was coming too fast when I was a kid. I couldn't stand there. So.
0-2 on Ari. Struck out back in the first. Righty against the lefty Sikopoulos now. Just a slight breeze blowing out to left center. It's been kind of a non-factor thus far. Here's the 0-2. Slider in the dirt. Wow, Galassi was well off the bag down the first base line. Burke not even close to him, but he'll have to retreat here. So I guess in terms of what's next for this Pistons team, I guess what needs to show the progress here in year 2 of this rebuild?
I think that last year it was 23-game winning season. It were in every game and exciting. I know that from a management standpoint, they probably expect for them to expand on the wins. I look at this team as possibly getting to the playoffs this year. If they might have a chance, 35, anywhere from 35, 38, in that range if they can get those type of wins this year. And that's based on them being healthy, and that's how the league is right now. I mean, I can't see them winning the Eastern Conference, not quite yet, but I think they'll make a move this year to become a better basketball team. He's got some talent in there.
2-2 popped foul. In terms of the scope of the NBA, it's obviously a much different game than what you played. What are your thoughts on how the game is played these days?
Well, it's changed with times. The big man is no longer a factor like he used to be. It's a wide open game. The 3-point shot is kind of dominated over the years now, and not as much inside play. They keep the lanes open and they drive, and so it's more of a fast break 3-point shooting game now. And it's I think it's exciting for the fans. It's a change at times. But things usually evolve. I'm quite sure you're going to see big men start to find their way back into the game again. Most of them are stretch 4s and 5s now. They all can shoot the 3-point ball, and if you're going to be a big now, you got to be pretty mobile. You got to be able to run and be able to get out on the court and defend. So there's definitely been some changes over the years, but I think it's pretty exciting for the fans, and they enjoy watching it, especially with the 3-point line and a guy like Steph Curry.
3-2 on Ari. Runners will be on the move with 2 outs. Here they go. Slider high, so Attilas to third, Galassi to second. And after the second walk here in the third inning, his third overall, which is something that Eddington just doesn't do, will load the bases here in the third.
Now, I watch Tigers play in baseball. Like basketball, you do your scouting reports, on different players and what they can do, which way they go. They go right, they go left, or they can't shoot it from the outside. But I see in the baseball games, if a guy can only hit, if he's hitting to the right field, I've seen the field shift. and they'll bring the players over to that right side of the field to defend it and leave almost the other side of the field alone.
Right.
I thought that was pretty interesting to see that. So they really are confident that this guy can only go one way when he's hitting the ball.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's the same in basketball organizations. I know we've talked about this at the pro level as well. There's so many analytics that go into decisions these days, whether you're keeping a guy, whether you're putting him in the lineup on a certain day. That went off the glove of Burke. It'll score Tillis at least. Galassi around third base as well. Sakopoulos headed to third. The Unicorns scored 2 here in the third.
And that's what you want. That's the excitement right there. You got to get on this pitcher, put some runs on the board. You get guys on base. You got to bring them home.
It's the Unicorn spirit you brought with your jersey here to the booth, huh?
Well, I got my hat. I got everything. Just don't put me on the field.
Well, your pitch did not make the broadcast, so you're safe there.
Good.
I did take a little video of it.
Good.
So if you want to analyze it after the game, I can show you.
It was a wild pitch. Come on. What are you going to say? I didn't hit the batter. So.
You did do some walking before the game, so maybe we'll just chop it up to that thing,
Yeah, my good friend Anna Nolan's Vinos and Bives. She's got a nice wine bar. She was a Shock player, great WNBA player for the Shock. 3 championships here. I had to go down and visit her. She opened up her spot right in walking distance from here, and I had a chance to go in and visit with her for a little bit.
From what I hear, the WNBA is expanding again. You think any possibility we get a team?
That would be nice. We really had some exciting teams in the championships. A lot of people forget the Shock. They brought 3 championships to Detroit.
Broken bat by Bolin. He pokes it over the head of Pop. It'll score another run. Sakopoulos easily jogs home. 3-0 Corns. Back-to-back RBI hits. Childress first, and now Bolin. Here comes Kevin Lambert now, the 8th batter already to come to the plate here in the third. How things have snowballed all of a sudden.
A little shaking at the mound right now.
After Eddington had retired the first 2 here in the third via strikeout, Tillis walked, Galassi singled, Sakopoulos walked, Childress singled, Bolin singled as the slider nearly hits Lambert there. Slight breeze blowing to left center field. Really haven't had anybody get it in the air. Barely in the outfield thus far as that fastball tipped into the glove. Continuing our conversation with Earl Cureton, NBA vets, my broadcast partner over at Detroit Mercy for hoops as well. Certainly will be an interesting hoop season here in the state of Michigan. 1-1, fastball away. A team that's not too far from the ballpark, Oakland University. Greg Campy got a pretty nice haul. Rocket Watts coming over.
Yeah, that was a good pickup for him. And, Coach Campy, he always does a great job of finding players. And he was at Michigan State for a while. And, big name, big player. He's going to get another opportunity here in Michigan.
Popped up to left. Lawler is under it for out number 3. Well, a couple months we'll be doing this again, huh?
It's coming fast. It's hard. This summer kind of just blew by. We already in the middle of August, and we'll be back at it. And we got some new names to learn over at the University of Detroit Mercy. Hopefully, we'll bring the team together and we'll see something exciting. Antoine Davis is always going to be a guy that you want to come and see. And I know they're working hard to try to get more fans into the stands to watch them play this year. And hopefully they bring something exciting for us to do and to broadcast and for the fans to watch.
Well, thanks for joining us here today. That's Earl Cureton, NBA vet, Detroit Piston member as well, and Hall of Famer over at the University of Detroit Mercy. Back with more after this on the USPBL Network.
One thing that makes Detroit Mercy unique and different from other universities is that the faculty truly care about you and they're always there to help. Whether it's asking questions after class or going into the office hours, they're always there to lend a hand and really make you feel at home.
People are here to work together, and whether you have a question or you're discussing topics within the class, you can go up to your professor and they know your name. They're just willing to help you become a better overall student.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
At Fifth Third Bank, we're
we're working hard to make banking a fifth third better, which means we put 166.7% into everything we do.
I think you can only give 110%.
Well, with free checking, fraud protection services, and an automatic savings tool to help you quickly reach your goals, 166.7% is possible.
Oh, wait till my 8th graders hear about this. They're gonna be like, it's not possible. Well, yes it is.
This is banking, a fifth third better.
Look at a drum line here today. We had the Rochester Adams Band perform the national anthem before today's game. To the 4th inning we go. Riggleman back out there. Gave up just a single in the 3rd inning, otherwise all of them being outs. Scott Combs, the lone man to get on against Riggleman here today. It'll be Blake Porter, Yadi Rivera, Noah Marcoux, and Joe Burke to bat here in the 4th. Blake Porter grounded out back in the 1st inning. First pitch to Porter, chopped foul. Oh, 1 shifted down the first baseline. Outfielders deep against Porter. Most of the outfielders have been playing deep here tonight, but the ball just hasn't challenged the air thus far.
Last inning for the Unicorns was one that involved some luck with just the way the ball came off those bats. Not a bunch of hard hit balls. I think the only one really was Galassi's.
Oh, nearly another magnificent play by Lambert in front of the tarp down the left field line. Were you with me? I definitely thought that ball, just from Lambert's reaction, was out of his reach when he dived into the dugout.
Yeah, I thought it was going to hit the dugout or hit the roof of the Cabana Suites like we've seen him do a lot this year, and he just disappeared and came back with the baseball.
Porter 1 and 2. So Tillis and Lambert finally settle their way back in. That's the thing. You got to catch your breath after
a long run.
I think Riggleman's realizing that as well. He takes a second beat or two to make sure his guys are good. Now the 1-2. Frozen with the fastball. High and away, though. 2-2 on Porter. And what a weird inning for Eddington as well. After he had struck out the first 2, you can't chop up all of it to be his fault. Obviously a ball that Fedco has made today. I mean, for the most part, with the diving stop and then the couple walks, obviously you chop those up, and a day that you won't see maybe again from Derek if he continues his hot streak.
Yeah, the big one was the walk to Attilis on 4 pitches. You just can't walk a guy in that situation with 2 outs and the lefties and Drew Galassi and Ari Sikopoulos due up. That's what keeps that inning alive. You got to attack the righty Attilis and get out of that inning as soon as you can, and don't put on base runners in front of those guys, because then you see what happens. It doesn't even necessarily take some good pieces of hitting, just contact in the right spots, you know, ground balls with eyes, stuff like that. That'll let some runs come across.
Swing and a miss. Fastball by him at 90 miles an hour. Not just the second K for Riggleman here tonight. Has been dealing with the contact.
Yeah, this is impressive for Riggleman. Just 1 hit given up. I don't have any hard hit balls on my scorecard. That's something he has struggled with in his past few starts. He's given up 8 home runs this year. That's the most of any pitcher. But tonight it's been the complete inverse. Just what these Unicorns needed.
Looked like a first pitch changeup there by Rivera. Here's the 0-1. Threw it again outside. He's been keeping this strong pace throughout the whole contest here tonight as well. Fastball has been around 89, 90. That one at 89. Now the 2-1. Fastball loops inside. Noah Marcoux on deck with one out here in the fourth. 4 strike retired by Riggleman once again. He's allowed just one base hit. That went in for strike 2. Kind of a harder changeup. It's kind of hard to read his averages this year because he hasn't thrown it that much, but you think that is his changeup? I don't think it's the slider because that averages 77. I mean, that last one was 85.
Could be that sinker that we see.
Maybe just taking
And
a little
just,
bit
yeah,
extra
a little
off.
bit off. Hasn't thrown it as much. Has that downward movement.
Sort of acted as a changeup, though, whatever it
Yeah.
might be. Here's Marcoux after some more soft contacts. There's that pitch low and in again.
Having Earl on was a treat, and we appreciate him coming on, but it reminded me of a conversation. I want to get your take on it. My roommate and I were having last night. Any 4 athletes, doesn't matter what sport or when, you could pick 4 Detroit Lions if you want. The 4 best athletes of all time in the city of Detroit. Who are they?
Oh, you wanted to quiz Earl? Is that what you were saying?
No, I want to ask you. I want to get your take.
Wow, this is just right on the
yeah,
right on the
you're
button
a Detroit sports historian.
No matter what sport, all time.
Doesn't matter.
And what are we basing it off of? Just performance or?
Whatever you garner as the term athlete. Athletic ability, performance, both.
Okay. Can I think about it through your play-by-play?
I guess, yeah, whatever.
This is just kind of random
This
and
is
on the
pretty,
spot. But
I mean, it's not an easy list. I cut the list off at like 7 or 8 guys.
Gordie Howe's there for me.
Yep.
I can.
He was in mine.
2-2 ripped foul down the first base line.
There's another obvious choice.
Is that LK line or no?
I said Barry.
Yeah. Yeah, Barry. Of course, Barry, yeah.
Tigers is where I was thinking one for each sport and then got away from that once I picked who I thought was the best from each sport. Miguel Cabrera's up there for me.
Yeah,
he just has to be.
Just think of that 2-2. I think there's still a little bit of a sour taste in some's mouth. I think it's gone away because of his accolades recently and getting to these big milestones. I mean, there are no milestones not to sniff at, but here's the 3-2 in there. No, away for ball 4. That'll be the first walk here tonight for Riggleman. Obviously, he was on top. I mean, we heard it so many times. Is he the best hitter in baseball for a good 5, 6, 7 year stretch after he was traded away? Then obviously he had a little bit of a downturn, but has ticked that back up at the end of his career. Now he's injured and reported that this might be his last year after saying, yeah, I probably have 2 years left at the start of this year. It's an interesting debate, though. If you have thoughts, you can chime in on Facebook and YouTube.
I think when we get to the term athlete, too, when we break it down away from performance, and if you take away recency bias, we talk about Miguel Cabrera. Another guy that has to be up there for me, Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't know if in the history of sports there's anybody better at catching a football while other people are trying to stop him and or catch it as well.
Line drive to center. Galassi is there. That for the 3rd out here in the 4th inning. After the leadoff strikeout and the pop out, he walked Marcoux. That is it. Adam Riggleman rolling through 4. No runs, just 1 hit and a walk. Brendan Shabath has play-by-play when we get back. The USPBL Network.
What makes Detroit Mercy so unique is the fact that it's in the middle of Detroit, and especially with their service learning programs, you really get a chance to be a part of the community.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
Bottom of the fourth, Unicorns with a 3-run lead. It was a big inning for them in the third against that man, Derek Eddington. He stays out there for the fourth. It started in the third with a strikeout to Parkinson, followed by another one to John Hodo. But then walk, single, scored 3 runs, and that's where this game sits right now. So the 8-9-1 hitters, De La Cruz, Parkinson, and Hodo will bat in the fourth for the Unicorns. First pitch, fastball up. So the best fastball, despite the 3-run inning that we've seen tonight from Eddington, 92.3 on Flight Scope. Working on 60 pitches right now. 2-0 to De La Cruz. He struck out his last time. That was in the second inning. Didn't offer at the high fastball. 3 balls, no strikes. An uncharacteristic at bat again for Eddington. Struggling to find the strike zone against a hitter he should probably attack. Popped him up on the 3-0. Right side, Schellenbarger. That's the first out.
That's exactly what Eddington needed to kind of regain his confidence. We talked about it a little bit in the last half inning, striking out the first 2 in the third, then kind of everything put together. I mean, it wasn't, wow, that was a great hit. I mean, there was some clutch hits, certainly, but we haven't seen any in the gap or deep enough for a potential home run thus far.
There were 2 hits that hit a defender's glove before they hit the ground in that inning for the Unicorns. That just couldn't be converted into outs. And that's not against Fedko or Burke, the 2 that those line drives were hit to. Those were tough plays. But that's just sometimes the name of the game. No balls and a strike on Parkinson. He's 0 for 1 with a K. Low and away. It's still been fastball heavy. We saw the splitter and curve mixed in a little bit more. Eddington maybe shying away from those 2 after the longer third inning. Fourth inning brought to you by Scott's here on the USPBL Network. Also low and outside again with the fastball. The wind is still blowing out there in center field, pushing things to the left side. That's skied fouling out a play over on the first base side. But wind has been a non-factor tonight. Like you mentioned, Jeremy, balls just aren't being driven into the outfield. The only one I can think of was Scott Combs' double as the first hit of the game for the Hoppers, as the really hard and well-hit ball.
Yeah, a little bit surprising given these 2 lineups going at it here today and how they've been lately and all season for some of them.
2-2 now, down on strikes for the second time. Eddington gets a much-needed strikeout and the second out here in the fourth. I guess that's only counting balls in play. If we're counting balls that weren't in play, Alex Pupp had a home run on a foul ball.
That's true.
His first time up.
Yeah, that is very true. Forgot about that one.
But other than that, it's been soft contact. And that's no surprise for Eddington. That's been the name of the game for him. Low walks and what contact there is soft. For Riggleman, this is a really good night for him so far. He has not been a soft contact pitcher, but that's been a struggle for him. He's given up hard contact. The ball 1 to Hodo, make it 2 balls and no strikes. Pop out and strike out for John tonight.
Kind of going back to that last at bat for Parkinson, didn't look like he was reading the pitches very well. But you got to wonder, too, whether the season's wearing on Parkinson a bit. I mean, he started so hot with the stick and at that position. Sometimes you'll see that with guys that have caught pretty much the whole season long. Start hot, but just can't sustain it.
I think that plays a factor, and also you add into the fact that Matt's he's not a power hitter. He's not going to have the sheer and natural raw power to kind of keep those numbers where they were. And, you know, for gap-to-gap guys and backside singles hitters, the fatigue plays perhaps a bit more of a factor than some of those big power guys. Down on strikes, Eddington with a nice strut off the mound, back-to-back Ks. Good recovery inning for him. Keeps the score where it is. It's the Unicorns 3, the Hoppers nothing. We'll go to the 5th.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
It's been a good pitching duel through 4 complete innings on both sides. A total of 4 hits, just 3 runs for the Unicorns. Here on another Friday Fireworks Spectacular, Brendan Shabath, Jeremy Otto bringing you the call here on the USPBL Network. Jeremy was out of town in the past couple days. You got to take in a White Sox game against the Astros in Chicago. How was that?
I did. It was fun. You know, and I guess I haven't confirm this, but it was a little bit disappointing because I bought a 500 level seat. Have you ever been to the?
I did go once. That
Okay.
was about 5 or 6 years ago. That was on a family trip, so we splurged a little bit on our tickets there.
So what I was reading online, I guess I didn't officially, really try to go to the lower deck, but the 500 level seat is the kind of the tallest part of the upper deck.
Brought some tissues with you for your nose.
It did feel high at a moment. It's like, this isn't too high after I was.
I
kinda
saw
up
your
there for a
picture
while.
though on Twitter. That looked cool. It was a nice view.
It was. You could see the kind of the city as well. But anyway, so I don't think if you have a ticket to the 500 level, you can tour around the main campus or the main concourse, which is kind of a disappointment because that's for a baseball stadium. That's one thing that you really like to kind of take in, move to different spots, and see what the vantage points are in the outfield and see what kind of statues and whatnot they have. But it was a nice park. I think they recently did a renovation. I was kind of surprised how new it looked.
2-2 fouled back by Schellenbarger. He's 0 for 1 today with a ground out. Now, I remember checking the scores last night during the broadcast, and I saw the White Sox got pummeled. What was this? I didn't see the score of the game that you went to, though. It was the day before.
3-2. It was very close.
Oh, close one.
Yeah.
On the ground, right side, through the infield. Hodo can't dive in time, and Schellenbarger's got a base hit, just the second tonight for the Hoppers. That's where he grounded out the first time and maybe compensated for that a little bit more to the right of Hodo. Leadoff man on for Scott Combs, who's already doubled today.
It's kind of interesting to think about, though, that, you know, Chicago has 2 major league teams, and obviously you think of the state of California, how many teams they have, but it's so big, too, you know? I mean, but you got the south side and you got the north side in terms of the teams there, but obviously a city that big maybe warrants and can survive with 2. But
yeah, you don't quite understand how big it is until you're actually there and you see it. Had the fortune of actually flying over it last year on a basketball trip for Michigan State basketball. And you're like, when you're up above it and you get to see it like that, you're like, this is a geographically very big city to get up and down.
The amount of cars will tell you that, too. I can tell you that firsthand.
Yeah, that's for sure. Combs off to a 7-for-19 start to his professional career in 6 games. Tonight is his 7th. Ball and a strike. Takes a curveball in for strike 2. Hoppers could use some runs here in the 5th. Try to respond to that 3-run 3rd inning. Schellenbarger going on the pitch. Combs swings and misses. Strike him out. Not going to be a throw him out as Schellenbarger got a good jump and is safe over in scoring position.
Have you ever been to Wrigley?
I haven't yet, and I've got some college friends who are from Chicago and are Cubs fans, and it's a bucket list destination, but haven't been to Chicago, like I said, 5 or 6 years. It's been a while.
Sure.
I got to get down there. Actually, not during baseball season, but I might have the fortune of going next year. The Big Ten tournament for men's basketball and women's basketball will be at the United Center where the Bulls play. It's outside on Lawler. He was the hero in this matchup on Wednesday. Bases loaded, 1 out in the bottom of the 9th after the Hoppers had given up 4 runs in the 8th to let the Unicorns back in. Lawler slammed the door on a 0-0 pitch on the sidearm Keon Taylor. It was a sinker, and he took it back up the middle. It bounced off of Taylor into left to score Joe Burke and win the game for the Hoppers. 0 for 1 tonight, popped out on that Kevin Lambert. Nice play over at the third base dugout. That was back in the 3rd inning. Two and one, and he swings and misses, evens the count.
Riggleman, obviously a much smaller sample size, but both of these pitchers really bouncing back from the little adversity that they've had.
Yep.
That was an impressive inning by Eddington, wasn't it?
Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised if he was rattled after that 3rd inning, and he just came out and went 1, 2, 3 in the 4th. Lawler down on a lazy swing. 4th strikeout, 2nd in a row for Adam Riggleman.
And the strikeouts are something that's just picked up from in the last couple innings. 3 out of those 4 in the 4th and 5th, but he was getting some nice contact outs. His defenders were responding behind him, and a lot of it has been shallow and not hard hit contact to this point.
That's now 44 strikeouts on the season for the Glenville State College graduate. He was the first ever All-American from Glenville State College. Hard, high bounce to Attilis at short, and that retires the side. A leadoff single, but nothing after that. Strikeout, strikeout, ground out, and it's still 3-0 Unicorns hanging on to that 3-run lead.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms, and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Derek Eddington, after a 1-2-3-4th, steps out again for his 5th inning of work. Hoppers trail by 3 runs right now. Had one of their better chances in this game. They've really only had 2 good chances to score. In the third, Combs led things off with a double. Got to third base on a pop-out from Lawler, but was stranded there. Then last inning, Schellenbarger, leadoff single, stole a base on the strikeout to Combs, but then a strikeout and a ground-out ended things there.
So I didn't get a chance to rewind your interview with Attilas, but he showed you the bat, huh, on camera?
Yeah, it was Cam Wood. I thought it was Cap Wood, so I was off by a letter, but points for trying, right?
No.
Really?
Okay.
You're a tough grader, huh?
Sure. Why not?
A lot of fans still here on a Friday night. It's been a good game so far. Tillis fouls that one back. Ooh, nearly hopped over the screen, but didn't. He's 0 for 1 plus a walk. Did score on that walk, and that was the quintessential one for Eddington. Walked Tillis on 4 pitches in the third inning after striking out the first 2. That led to a 3-run, 2-out rally. Lights are on here at Jimmy John's Field. Sun just about set, still partly cloudy. Seems like this happens a lot. It's partly cloudy in the surrounding areas, but basically directly over the stadium, it's clear skies.
Yeah. Yep. Kind of beyond the outfield fences.
Yeah.
Just in the parking lot probably where most people park here. They gravel lot.
2-1 on Attilas. That one's high. 3 balls and a strike.
That wasn't the bubble for you guys yesterday, though.
No, we didn't get it. We usually do. And that's, you know, okay, fair. We're not going to get it every time. That's the second rain delay I've been here for. Don't know if there have been any others, maybe in some non-publics. Eddington, a nice play, sprawling off the mound to get that grounder up the middle for the first out.
We've seen some good plays out of pitchers here lately, I feel like, in the last couple weeks. Eddington has made a couple in his professional career thus far, but I feel like it's undervalued these days. You can steal an out that way. If you got a guy who can range off the mound, it doesn't have to be flashy, but that play right there, it hits the mound. Maybe it redirects a little bit more if it gets fielded by an infielder, not hit extremely hard. And with a speedy runner like Attilas, it's not a sure out without Eddington knocking that down.
Yeah, we had an inning last night. I don't remember who the pitcher was for the Mammoths, but we had a putout that went 1-3 and another putout in the same inning, the second putout, that went 2-3. Both the catcher and the pitcher made nice plays for the Mammoths. One ball, no strikes on Drew Galassi. He had a big hit to keep the inning alive last time. Also walked in the first inning. Eddington yet to retire this hitter tonight. Fastball pumped it by him at 88.
I'm just going to continue my campaign. Hire this guy. Sign this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, just in the last 2 months, every big situation, it seems like he's coming up clutch. And maybe that's an exaggeration, but, I mean, you can count on your fingers how many times he's struggled in clutch situations.
Yeah. 1-2, swing and a miss. Down on strikes. Finally, Drew Galassi will not reach base in this game. And for the struggle that Derek had in the third inning and for the 3 walks, which are uncharacteristic for him and on the upper echelon in a start for him, 8 strikeouts.
And we've talked about it before, you know, kind of ad nauseum at times, but the pitching staff here at the USPBL, Shane McCaddy especially, you know, one of his big things is, hey, you struggled, but how did you bounce back from that struggle? Whether that was in the same game, if you know, were fortunate enough to stay in, or whether how you adjusted the next start and made, you know, your tweaks that you needed to go through. And half of whether you're going to be successful in this league and in baseball, for the most part, is, you know, can you take that instruction and apply it without making it bug you out in terms of mentally.
1-0 to Skopoulos, swung on and missed. Similar to the conversation we had earlier about the mental aspect and getting away from the game. That's another thing is adversity. How can you come back from that? Do you let it eat at you, or do you come back stronger?
This is a game that, you know, there's so many games, and obviously a few less here in the USPBL than most, and they don't play every day. That can come back to bite you at sometimes as well, but it can eat at you pretty fast.
High and away with the fastball there. 2 balls, 1 strike. The 3 walks tonight for Eddington are actually a career high for him, and we talked about following up that adversity. His career high in strikeouts is 10, and through 4 2/3, already at 8. The 2-1. Smoked foul. Skopoulos turned on it. Interesting thing for Derek, and it's kind of funny when we talk about the adversity, the recovery from a struggle inning. I was talking to Ryan Kotke, and then coincidentally Derek today, after learning this on Wednesday. He has changed his diet very significantly, actually, this summer, and it has helped a lot. Not necessarily with weight gain. He's just, you know, your typical tall and skinny guy. Weighs about 206, he told me, right now. The 2-2, that's outside for ball 3. But it's not necessarily a diet change for weight gain, but he has increased his calorie intake 1,000 more than it was per day, 100 grams of protein included in that. But he said it has really helped with his recovery the day after pitching. He said, quote, I can go 80 pitches and the next day feel like I can throw on the mound and feel comfortable with that. Says he just feels really healthy and really good.
Well, that's something that Ray Rodriguez and Brian Camacho had struggled with a bit. Ended up parting their ways, at least for now, with the USPBL. I'm not sure sometimes, you know, when a player is feeling a bit injured and can't recover quicker, sometimes the invite is extended for another year back, especially if you haven't been here more than one as it is. But so not sure exactly what their plans are for that. But 2 guys who had success in the stretches.
Payoff pitch again, popped up left side. Coming in and making the grab is Sean Lawler for the 3rd out. Sometimes they say your best ability is your availability. Derek Eddington being available here, recovering after a 3-run 3rd inning. That's where his team still trails. We'll head to the 6th.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At FSBCares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. FSBCares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood, because strong neighbors mean stronger communities.
Where good neighbors do great things.
Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
You dreamed of starting a company, not an HR department, but your business has grown fast, and so have the complexities of payroll and taxes, benefits administration, and other HR functions. That's why your business needs a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions. Tryon provides businesses of all sizes access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
3-0 our score here in the top of the 6th. Boy, Adam Riggleman has had himself a pretty good day. 4 strikeouts, just 1 walk, only 2 hits given up, and he stranded 3 runners. The Hoppers have been quieted at the plate through 5 complete innings, and he's out there for the 6th. He'll face Pup, Porter, Rivera, 1, 2, and 3.
Kind of talked about the importance of getting ahead of hitters. In a decent amount of his outs, he's done that. He has fallen behind and kind of climbed back and gotten some of those soft contact outs as well.
And I think if you notice in that 3rd inning for Derek Eddington, that's where that conversation originally started about getting ahead or behind hitters. He got behind in some of those counts, particularly to Attilis and Galassi, and kind of unraveled from there. 1 ball, no strikes on Pup. 0 for 2, ground out and fly out.
This is kind of how this Hoppers team has struggled, though. They've gotten some strong outings on the mound, but haven't been able to get over that hump offensively.
It feels like their bats are contagious in both the positive and the negative aspect, that when they're going, a lot of them are going, and when they're not, it's a struggle to really find someone to spark a rally. Thought they had their best chance with Combs in the top of the 3rd in his leadoff double. Didn't materialize. 3 balls, 1 strike.
It's a close take there by Pup. It's one way to get right back in it. Probably not easy to take pitches against a guy who's been pretty dominant here today.
Pup doesn't walk much either. Often in swing mode at the top of the order. He will be awarded first base on a free pass here, though. Leadoff man is on for the 3rd time in 6 innings for the Hoppers. Again, we'll reiterate, yet to score a run. They've left 3 on the base paths. Riggleman's pitch count starting to climb a little bit now. We're getting near that threshold. 87 after the walk to Pup. Bullpen looks barren, though, for the Unicorns. Swing and a miss on Porter for strike 1. No balls and a strike on Porter. We knew they were going to stretch Riggleman tonight. Not sure if we'll see him. I mean, right now he's on pace with nobody in the bullpen, probably for 100 pitches, maybe more.
And he's working himself into, maybe being that first playoff game starter, whenever that might be. Just kind of talking to some of the coaches.
We saw Montaner get stretched last night, even after a 4-run first inning pitch out, as Pup had a big lead over there at first. No throwdown from Parkinson, so 1-1.
I think I said this last week. And this, these two teams maybe not as much as the Mammoths. I mean, we just saw the
Yeah.
steal record being broken.
Elijah Brown last night, yeah. There goes Pup. Throw down to second. That's a good one from Parkinson. They're going to get him? Did he signal? Yes, he did. Oh, Pup came off the bag at the end anyways. Little anticlimactic signal there, and that negates the leadoff walk. That's the first out. Alex Pup caught stealing.
But anyway, what I was getting to is that, I mentioned that on the air last week. Maybe you see teams pitch out a little bit more because a lot of these throw downs are just not close at times. And Brown, you can say what he is. He's very speedy. So, I mean, and the speedy base runners are going to make it hard for any catcher to try to get them out. But, yeah, as you try to tactically win a few more of these games, and as the wins become more important because the standings are trying to align where you want to place yourself in terms of the playoffs, why not? But that was the lone situation where they pitched out, didn't go, and then a lot of times you do see guys go after that.
It was kind of a half pitch out, a really good throw by Parkinson, but it was just a fastball outside, a good pitch to throw on. And Pup, for the first time in 6 attempts, was caught out at second this season. And he's had his share of struggles with that as Porter is down on strikes. Some aggressiveness on the base paths this season, whether it's stolen bases or just aggressive base running while being on base and in scoring position. Knowing the situation is something Ryan Kottke has talked about. And perhaps going on the pitch just after the pitch out, not the ideal move. That breaking ball is in for a strike on Rivera. He now steps up with 2 outs. The strikeout to Porter, the 5th tonight for Adam Riggleman. Last time out for Riggleman was against the Mammoths, and he struggled through that one. 5 innings, 9 hits, and 6 earned runs. That came earlier this week on Sunday in what ended up being a 7-6 win for the Unicorns, and a big one, because since then they've lost 2 in a row and 4 of 5. 1-2 on Rivera's outside. Just over halfway through this game, it's no runs on 2 hits and no errors for the Hoppers. 3 runs on 4 hits and no errors for the Unicorns. The 2-2. Fly ball to center. Galassi takes a step back, and now a few to his right. And that's another grab. The 3rd out after the leadoff walk. Pup is caught stealing, and it results in just 3 batters faced for Riggleman. He's done a nice job through 6 complete innings. Home half of the 6th on the other side of the break.
We joined Green Path and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing Green Path is a no-brainer.
At Fifth Third Bank, we're working hard to make banking a Fifth Third better, which means we put 166.7% into everything we do.
I think you can only give 110%.
Well, with free checking, fraud protection services, and an automatic savings tool to help you quickly reach your goals, 166.7% is possible.
Oh, wait till my 8th graders hear about this. They're gonna be like, it's not possible. Well, yes it is.
This is banking, a Fifth Third better.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Donovan Thacker takes over on the mound here in the 6th inning. Good bounce back by Derek Eddington. I know my counterpart talked about it quite a bit in the last couple innings, but it's worth re-mentioning. He faced 8 batters in the 3rd after he was just cruising along through the first 2 2/3, really. He struck out the first 2 batters in the 3rd, then walked Tillis, scored. Galassi singled and scored. Sikopoulos walked and scored. They were driven in by Noah Childress, 2 of the 3. Then Malik Bolin the last. And, you know, some starters may have fallen down in the 4th. He worked on 1, 2, 3. 2 strikeouts, 1, 2, 3 in the 5th. And now he's done here today after a decent amount of pitches.
Obviously a lot of baseball left to play, but this has happened to some really good starters with some really good starts a few times this year, and it's that 3-word term, just 1 bad inning. And that's what it was for Eddington. 3 of the 4 hits he gives up, and all of the runs coming in that 3rd. 2 of his 3 walks come in that 1 inning.
Fastball, slider, changeup, curveball. Curveball used the least and not very much since Thacker has been coming out of the bullpen more often. First pitch here to Childress. Fastball in the corner. Just missed for ball 1. Last appearance was back on the 17th, just a couple days ago, against these Unicorns. Not a memorable one for Thacker. 4 earned runs and 3 hits, just 2/3 of an inning.
I think there might have been a little relief from the Unicorns lineup after not having to face Andrew Verbrugge in that crucial 8th inning. They were just ready for Donovan Thacker, and he had to take the brunt of that comeback.
Had a nice chat with Andrew Verbrugge pregame here today. Can rewind to watch that after the game is over. 1-2 on the corner for strike 3. Childress takes the borderline strike. And that's strikeout number 9 for this Hoppers pitching staff here today.
Won't see that guy do that too often. Take a close one. Got to be in protect mode, though, with 2 strikes. Whenever I find myself in 2 strikes as they're delivering, I always tell myself anything close.
Well, you can't strike out in softball.
I'm talking about on video games, too.
Okay.
No, in softball you can't.
Might as well just quit.
In softball, it's more often I find myself in 3-ball counts and say anything close, swing, because you don't want to walk, because those are no fun.
Now the 1-0 in there for strike 1. Now the 1-1 outside. 2-1 here on Malik Bolin. Carol Wolfbauer working double duty here today, now directing your stream here tonight. Also the in-game host. Up-and-comer here in the industry. 2-1 outside. 3-1 on Bolin.
5-tool employee to keep it baseball.
Yes. It's a nice job filling in for Chelsea Estes on the in-game side of things.
She's had a game on air here, too, doing commentary.
Fades inside. 3-2 on Malik now. Center fielder Porter is deep and shaded towards the gap. Left fielder and right fielder a little bit shallow. This one off the end of the bat. Fedko, nice bounce for him. 2 up and 2 down in the 6th, and now that's, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can count. 9 straight outs between Pennington and Thacker here in the 6th, and the 2nd here in inning number 6.
Let's double checking just to make sure.
I was in the slower of the 2 maths when I went to high school. You too?
Yep.
Yeah.
I took 2 math classes in college. They were Math 101 and Math 102, and that's the last that I really needed it. The most difficulty I have with math these days is subtracting 35 from 53 in live time while announcing a basketball game. Other than that, those basketball scores, man, those are the tough ones.
They are.
Oh, it's been a 12-0 run, you know?
1-1 here on Kevin Lambert. 6th inning brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. We thank Fifth Third Bank for their sponsorship of the USPBL Network. Now the 1-1 with the infielders back. Strike 2. Infielders back, outfielders at medium depth. 2 outs, bases clear. Strikeout to Childress, ground out to Bolin in the 6th. Thacker winds up. Here's the 1-2 now. Nearly hit him. Not sure how it didn't nick the knee there.
He almost got a swing on that one, though, and he got Bolin to swing on a pitch fading inside as well. It's a deceptive arm side run for Donovan. Always tough for right-handed hitters. Speaking of arm side run, I don't know if you saw this. I asked Shane about it, and he wasn't totally sure. I'm going to get to see Shohei Ohtani pitch on Sunday, and I saw a clip on Twitter. He was throwing pitches at 97 miles an hour with low sinking arm side action, which is not a pitch he has. His fastball's 99 to 100. Sliders slower, the cutters low 90s. So there was speculation from the user on Twitter that he added a sinker to his already 5-pitch deep repertoire.
Interesting. Line drive to Fetco at second base. And that's another 1-2-3 inning here for Thacker. 10 straight outs for these Hoppers on the USPBL network.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA councils.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Shake it off inside the ballpark here today. You can get down there and get in the groove. You got the shoulders moving here.
It's hard not to, you know.
Well, you don't dance in public, is what you told me.
Yeah, only on the dance floor, designated area.
There's Matt Parkinson. He threw it down to complete the warm-up here in the 7th. It'll be 8-9-1 due up for the Unicorns, who lead this game 3-0. Can feel the little cool breeze coming into the booth at this point. It's actually Marcoux, Burke, and Schellenbarger. Just didn't turn over the book here. A 3-batter inning for Riggleman in the 6th, though, I can tell you that, as he delivers a pitch inside, strikeout looking back in the 2nd. Now the 1-0. Fastball in for strike one. Recheck that defense, brought to you by the Three-Dimensional Services Group. It's Bolin in left, Galassi in center, De La Cruz in right. Lambert and Sakopoulos on the corners, Hodo and Attilis up the middle. There's a slicer for Galassi, no problem for out number 1.
For a brief second, the thought went into my mind that it was slicing away from Drew and he wasn't going to be able to get to it.
I was with you, yeah. I thought it might carry a bit more.
Immediately corrected and reminded that maybe the fastest and best outfielder defensively is out there.
And you look at it on replay, he was going like half speed.
Yeah.
He slowed down before the ball was in his glove.
That ball could have been at the left field foul pole. He might have gotten there.
83 away. Here to Joe Burke. 0 for 2 today. Lined out and grounded out in his previous 2. Fastball in for strike 1. Well, for Riggleman, clean through the first 2. Gave up his first base hit in the 3rd to Combs, which ate up Galassi a bit. And the single to Schellenbarger, he stole second base, but he retired the next 3. Strikeout, ground out. And in the 6th, a leadoff walk. Pup trying to steal second base, immediately thrown out by Parkinson. That's the first out. Strikeout to Porter, pop out to Rivera. And another minimum inning for Adam Riggleman here tonight. There's a fly ball to left center field, and that man is just not going to allow him to get any more hits this year. For out number 2 here in the 7th, he's got a wry smile. He's like, come on now. You know you can't hit it to me.
The only thing you can do is hit it over him and over everything.
You think the netting helps some of those catches in left center sometimes for him?
I was wondering that. I don't know. Hard to tell.
Because the only thing you could think of how it would hinder you as well, because, I mean, it goes pretty much straight
snagged,
up.
Yeah. I mean, the netting is directly behind that fence out there.
But it would, it would cushion you in the sense of, as he kind of glides, not that he would fall over the wall, but maybe it gives you a
little bounce back. Yeah. The only other thing I could think of, too, is if he is good enough at deception, which is not the case if you look at the videos. But this is just a possibility anytime.
Pop up to right. De La Cruz is going to squeeze it after a little bit of an adventure. And that one for the third out. Finish your point.
The only other thing I could think of is if you could trap the ball on the netting without actually catching it and no one noticing. That's a possibility, but much less likely. The netting's pretty bouncy back there. We've seen a few batting practice home runs go off that one.
Time for your Genesis Credit Union 7th inning stretch here today, and take me out to the ball game as well. Take me out to the ball game. Oh boy, we're off. Take me out with the crowd. There we go. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, for it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Genesis Credit Union here today in the USPBL Network. 3-0 Unicorns. Back with more after this.
Stroke, heart attack, chest pain, injury. ERs at Ascension Michigan Hospitals are ready 24/7, delivering the right care at the right time. As a chair of emergency medicine at an Ascension Michigan hospital, I understand the importance of timely ER care. What's different? Experienced care teams and board-certified doctors who take the time to listen. You are connected to on-site lab and imaging, pharmacy, and leading-edge care with specialists in cardiovascular services, neuroscience, orthopedics, and more. Choose ERs at Ascension Michigan Hospitals. As a chair of emergency medicine at an Ascension Michigan hospital, I understand the importance of timely ER care. Stroke, heart attack, chest pain, injury. ERs at Ascension Michigan hospitals are ready 24/7 with all the care you need. What makes ERs at Ascension Michigan hospitals different? Your experience from door to doctor and beyond. The right combination of compassion and expertise, the right care at the right time, from experienced care teams and board-certified doctors who listen. You and your loved ones are connected to on-site lab and imaging, pharmacy and follow-up care with specialists in cardiovascular services, neuroscience, orthopedics, and more. We connect all the dots for your care so you can focus on healing and getting.
Adam De La Cruz to bat here in the 7th inning. 8-9-1, 2 up for the Unicorns against Donovan Thacker. He had a nice bridge inning in the 6th, 1-2-3, after taking over for Derek Eddington, who retired the last 7 he faced. So the out streak to 11 for this Hoppers staff. I'd like that to continue and hope that their bats are able to scrap together a run or two as we hit the top of the hour, nearly 9 o'clock Eastern here today. First pitch at 7:04 p.m. Now the 1-1 to De La Cruz. High pop-up down the right field line, scoots foul off one of those umbrellas. Those umbrellas are in full force. That patio space full, the one in left full. The berm nearly full in right as well. The patio space behind the third base bag looks pretty packed as well. It's turning out to be a really nice Friday night here in mid-August. Mid to late August, I guess, is what we're approaching at this point. 2-2 on Adam now. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop-out. Here's the pitch. Popped him up. Third base side, Rivera. Boy, I don't know if the wind's messing with these balls. That one not as much as what we saw from De La Cruz out in right, but not as easy as he might have thought it was. Nonetheless, 4 up and 4 down for Thacker now. Here's Parkinson, who struck out twice in the 3rd and the 4th. 7th inning here today brought to you by Valpak. We thank Valpak for their sponsorship of the USPBL network. First pitch to Matt, whittled foul. Jeremy Otto alongside Brendan Shabat to bring you the call here tonight. So glad you could spend a part of your Friday with us. Full slate of games this week, starting on Wednesday all the way to Sunday. Doubleheader tomorrow. The 0-1 shifted right to Pup. Feeds over to first. And now 2 up and 2 down here in the 7th. That's now 13 straight batters retired for the Unicorns.
Hoppers just need to counter this with some offense. They've had good defense since that 3rd inning. Good pitching, too. Eddington recovered nicely. Thacker has done his job since coming in the 6th.
First pitch to Hodo. Circles in for strike 1. Well, tomorrow it's Pistons night, as we discussed with Earl Cureton.
Ooh.
Gates open at 4:30.
Very excited about this Pistons team.
Oh, yeah, that's the second bat that Hodo has shattered here today. At least got the knob of the bat there. The barrel and then some went flying down the third base line. He's out 2 bats. That's something these guys love at this level. Another 1-2-3 inning for Thacker.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Keon Taylor takes over on the mound here in the 8th inning. Nice outing for Adam Riggleman. His longest professional outing. Also the first time he's shut out an opponent through 7.
He's had a couple one-run outings, but this is far and away the best one we've seen from Adam. Only 2 walks to 5 strikeouts. Really good day.
Keon Taylor making his 24th appearance, which is a league lead. 33 2/3 innings. So he hasn't just been an exclusively one-inning guy here tonight. And who knows, if he does work 2 quick innings here today, he might get 2.
Yeah, we'll see how far they stretch Keon tonight. I won't be surprised if it's just 1. Against the bottom of the order here. Took that line drive walk-off from Sean Lawler, nicked his finger, middle finger on his pitching hand, bruised it a little bit, so maybe a little soreness there. Not trying to work him too hard. A very valuable arm out of the bullpen all season long, and we'll surely see him in the playoffs.
Strike 2 on the slider there.
Boy, just so tough to pick up and get on plane with for a right-handed hitter.
Yeah, the surface, you might think, oh, it's 74. It's looping in there, but it's coming out of the scoreboard, especially to the righty. Here's the 0-2 on the ground. The slider again. Attila surrounds. And a stretch by Sikopoulos. And now that's quietly 6 outs for this Unicorns pitching staff. Boy, it doesn't feel like the Unicorns scored 3 in that one inning, does it at this point?
No.
I mean, it sure did in that inning. They sent 8 to the plate, and then it belabored after Eddington had retired the first 2, but this is going to be a frustrating loss for these Hoppers if they can't get anything on the board here.
Just has not been an offensive night, which is the opposite of what we've seen in the last 3 games. 46 runs in 3 games, spanning back to Sunday. It's not bad.
Oh, 1. Wow, that's case in point of what that slider looks like. 0-2 on Lawler now. He is 0-2 today. 0-4-2. Pop out, strikeout, swinging. Strikeouts were not necessarily the calling card for Riggleman here today as Hodo throws one over to first. 2 up and 2 down. Hodo breaking his second bat here tonight in his last one for the final outs. Here's Christian Fedko now. Fedko also 0-2. Just a couple hits on the board for the Hoppers here tonight. A pair of walks as well. The hits, Schellenbarger and Combs. And he throws his bat. Get him some pine tar there. Riggleman still out there. That was the other thing on that last broken bat for Hodo. Not only did the bat shatter, but the barrel went way to the left, right around where that bat landed as well.
It almost looked like he threw the bat. Yeah, it broke right at the knob, it seemed like.
A pitcher's dream. Now the 1-1. Chop to Attilis. He has 2 of the 3 outs here in the 8th inning. And back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. Nice job by Keon Taylor. Limits the pitch count here in the 8th. Maybe we'll see him in the 9th. We'll see.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Times are tough right now. It feels like the bottom of the 9th, and we're down by 2. But we've seen tough times before. And just like baseball has always been more than just a game, Chief Financial Credit Union is more than money. So it might be the bottom of the 9th, but we're the home team, and we've got runners on base. Batter up, America. It's time to play ball.
DeSanti now on the mound here for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. He will take over for Donovan Thacker, who worked a solid 2 scoreless innings, 2 1-2-3 innings to boot in the 6th and 7th, taking over for Derek Eddington. A run scored against DeSanti in 5 of the last 6 appearances, so looking to change his fortunes here tonight. Mostly fastball slider, has a 2-seam and a 4-seam. Every occasion throws a changeup.
Guy who throws what we call gas. Steps out there, out of the bullpen, fires it in. Has pretty much been 93 all season long, and that's a really nice addition for this Hoppers bullpen. Keep hitters on their toes.
So the last time he threw was back on the 13th against the Beavers. Which was Saturday in a doubleheader. When do our doubleheaders stop? Is it this week?
Is this the last one? It might be.
Because they've been going strong really since after we were a month in.
What, like June? Yeah.
Yeah. So what? Tomorrow's the 20th. We got one more, 27th, which is next week. And then not much in terms of September ball. I mean, you have the condensed week of Thursday through Sunday. Actually, there is a doubleheader on the 3rd as well. I think that stretches a bit further than we went last year. But we've played a few less Sundays, mixed in a few Wednesdays, just how it shook out. Here's the 0-1 to Attilis. Fastball away. Ari Sikopoulos is due up 3rd. A guy that's tagged Mike a few times. One and one here on the shortstop. A walk back in the 3rd. He came around to score. Pair of ground outs in between. Now the 1-1. High fly ball to right, carrying Schellenbarger back near the berm, but handle there. Boy, that ball carried.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the harder hit balls for Luis. Hasn't shown power this year. Flashing a little bit there. Bit of a byproduct of the velocity on the mound. It's with a guy who throws as hard as DeSanti, it's less about the bat speed and more about get the barrel to where the ball's going to be, beat it to the spot, and let the velocity that it has coming in do the rest.
First pitch to Galassi, low and in. Galassi with a walk back in the 1st, single in the 3rd. Struck out in the 5th as well. That was 1 of 8 Ks for Eddington here tonight. Really picked up a lot of those as his outing went on. Righty versus lefty, the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 94 off the right arm of DeSanti there.
No surprise for DeSanti. Has been better against righties than lefties this season. Galassi and Sikopoulos have played a role in that.
Fastball high. Nineteenth appearance for DeSanti here tonight. He's thrown 20 in a 3rd innings of work. His 2nd year in Indy ball as Galassi flies that one foul. A big 2-2 pitch here with already the first man retired. Slider in, 3-1 now. That was a bit slower than when used to seeing it, 73.
That might have been that occasion for a changeup. Maybe not, though. That changeup's still pretty hard, actually.
Now the walk to Drew Galassi. And that breaks the retired streak. I lost count. It has to go back here. Let's see.
Let's see that math again.
I'm not going to do it on air.
It's from the last out in the third is what it was, so go from there.
14.
Yep.
That's impressive. Given, how this game has won. I mean, the Unicorns had the big inning in the third, and then they turned it directly around. This Hoppers pitching staff have not been able to get the bats going, though. Barely a base runner in that out streak on the other end.
Ooh.
A little bit of a stop, I believe, there from Galassi midway through.
I think Combs got interfered with by Sakopoulos there. That's what he's arguing for right now. That's the first thing I noticed when he goes to throw it. Sakopoulos swung on the pitch, which takes his momentum towards the plate. Combs is still arguing his case here. He's definitely got to get out of the way. Combs has to throw right over Sakopoulos on that throw down. He's upset. Ryan Kotke's going to make sure his catcher doesn't get thrown out.
The former catcher will try to argue his case. So Kotke's still out there looking for the explanation.
I think they've got a good case here.
I mean, why not bring the umpires together? I mean, he either saw it or not. I mean, that's one of those ones where you don't need to be too close, for an appeal or just a second opinion. Doesn't look like they're going to get it.
Especially the home plate umpire. That's the only thing he's worried about with the runner. He's got his fielding umpire who's paying all of his attention to second base for the throw. He's only got to pay attention to if Sakopoulos interferes with the throw or not. And obviously it's not intentional, but batter interference never is. But I think Combs absolutely had to throw over and around Ari after his swing to get that throw down to second, and that had an effect on it. We've already seen Combs throw out two guys in the last two games for the Hoppers. Those were both really impressive throws from his knees. This one he was able to stand up for.
Looks like DeSanti and Combs weren't on the same page there, so just had to talk that through.
That could be a big play. And you've got your fastest guy in the lineup in scoring position with only one out in the heart of your lineup. Due up.
Fly ball to right center field, chasing Porter back towards the trees. Gone! Just like that, 5-0.
He was ready for a fastball. Got it at 92, and we've seen him do damage on that pitch so often this year, and strikes again for the 12th bomb for Sakopoulos, and that's two big insurance runs here in the bottom of the eighth.
And I wouldn't necessarily call that one a no-doubter, but it's just a different look off his bat.
It's by distance not a no-doubter, but with the exit velocity that had and the angle, sure looked like it was going to get out right off the barrel.
So DeSanti recovers with the pop out to left. Now Malik Bolin, a man who homered himself just a game ago, come to the plate here. Fastball high at 94. Second time he's popped a 94 here in the eighth. Now the 1-0. Fly ball to center. Porter has a much better read and beat on that one, and that will retire the side. A walk, a possible missed runner interference call changes the complexion not only of the inning but the game. It goes from a 3-0 score to a 5-0 score in a game that already the Hoppers have struggled to scratch across a run. We'll see if that continues when we get back. To the 9th we go. Top of the order due up for the Hoppers.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
One thing that makes Detroit Mercy unique and different from other universities is that the faculty truly care about you and they're always there to help. Whether it's asking questions after class or going into the office hours, they're always there to lend a hand and really make you feel at home.
People are here to work together, and whether like you have a question or you're discussing topics within the class, you can go up to your professor and they know your name. They're just willing to help you become a better overall student.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
There's nothing better than a ball game at Jimmy John's Field and a cold beer from Midland Brewing Company. Hi, I'm Kyle, the head brewer at Midland Brewing Company, here to wish you a stellar time making memories at Jimmy John's Field. And we hope that you're living it up with a Copper Harbor Ale in your cup. You can find more of our selections here at the ballpark and around town at your favorite bottle shops too. We hope you have a ball at the game, and remember, enjoy responsibly. Let's play ball.
Alex Pup, Blake Porter, Yadi Rivera to hit here in the 9th. Pup with a walk back in the 6th, stole the base, or tried to steal the base, and he was cut down at second. The complexion of this game has kind of shifted, though. Already you could feel the Unicorns with a strangle, 3-0. Then they added a couple more. Colossi walk, stole second. Sakopoulos with a bomb to right center. Now we're at 5-0 with this tough pitcher on the mound, although he did give up the hit to this very team to win it the other day.
The heart of the order, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the Unicorns tonight, has put so much pressure on these Hoppers pitchers. They have just been very tough outs all night long. Only one inning in which all 3 of those hitters were retired.
Here's the 2-1 to Pup high. 3-1 on Alex now. Pup, a ground out, a pop out, and a walk. We talked about that. Facing the righty, Keon Taylor. Ahead in the count, 3-1. Walked him. How many times has Pup had a chance to get hit here today?
I was thinking that on the first one. Obviously, legally, you're required to at least attempt to move out of the way. You've actually seen that call play a factor in some MLB games recently, but stay in there. Take that hit by pitch on the first one. Get on base. Still gets the walk, though, so what do I know?
Here's Blake Porter. High chopper to Hodo, feeds over to first. Yeah, it was kind of an in-between play. He went for the sure out instead with a runner on second now.
I think that's the smart play for Hodo. Obviously, him and Attilas always want to turn to every chance they get, and they've been phenomenal at it this season. But 2 speedy guys running at each base and a softly hit chopper. You got to just take the one out, and that's what he did.
Here's Yadi Rivera. He's 0 for 3. Ground out, pop out, pop out. Slider in for strike 1. That was an effective pitch for him back in the 8th. You could tell that Lawler and Fedko both had trouble picking it up.
Good to see him having no fear throwing it to lefties. Hit Schellenbarger on the knee in the bottom of the 9th on Wednesday.
This might score a run. Pop. Boy, that was kept in the infield. I didn't think that had a chance to stay in. Hodo flustered. He didn't get a better throw on it. I'll have to watch that again. I thought that was destined for center field, and Pup was going to come around to maybe score.
Yeah, Hodo had a nice play getting up there and backhanding that.
So it kind of bounded off the rubber, I believe, or just behind it. Good bounce for Hodo. He got behind the second base bag and definitely saved at least the chance of Pup coming around and scoring. This is not the part of the lineup you want to face, though, with 2 runners on. Noah Marcoux coming off a home run the other day. Looks at strike 1. Delays, and Marcoux will call time. Runner moving to second, fly ball to left. Bolin, or that's De La Cruz, I beg your pardon, ranging up. The run will score. There's been some shifts in the outfield, it looks like here.
I think that's Leandy Castro over there in right, and De La Cruz, who started in right, is now in left.
So that for the second out. First run of the day for the Hoppers. Still kicking in the 9th is Joe Burke with a shot to make this game a bit closer. First pitch slider high.
It's a little above the zone, but surprised Burke laid off of that. That's a pitch that lights your eyes up when you need a big swing. Obviously they need base runners still, but off speed elevated. Jump on it.
Runner moving to second here is Rivera will get the base on defensive indifference. 1-1 on Burke now. 0 for 3. Hit some balls hard. Right at Drew Galassi. What else is new? Now the 1-1. High fly ball. Gonna cause De La Cruz to come way in. Squeeze is out number 3. And the Unicorns win a much-needed game here today. Got a little bit interesting in the 9th. The leadoff walk by Alex Pup came around to score. Had 2 on as well with Marcoux at the plate. He gets a sacrifice fly that ended in the second out, and then the pop out here in the 9th. Back with the University of Detroit Mercy postgame show after this on the USPBL Network.
If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we unicorns. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even from you. If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we unicorns. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even from you.
here with our Lombardo Homes player of the game, Adam Riggleman, the starting pitcher for the Unicorns tonight. All right, Adam, you went 7 innings today, and you never faced more than 4 batters in an inning. That's pretty amazing. So as you keep powering through those innings, tell me what you do to stay fresh and stay ready to go.
I just went into the game tonight knowing that we've got a lot of games this week and we're running low on arms. I'm just trying to throw strikes, let guys make contact, be efficient, and that way we can go later into the game and save some arms. None of the guys behind me are going to make plays and score runs, so it's pretty easy.
Well, now we're heading towards championship weekend. We're getting to the dog days of the season. So tell me how you're staying fresh out there on your off days, how you're staying ready to go.
In the training room a lot, making sure keeping the body ready to go, working out, just keeping the body fresh, ready to go whenever they need me, and just go get the job done.
Well, congrats on a great game today. Congrats on the win today, guys. All right, thank you, Jimmy Johns Field. We will see you guys soon. Enjoy the fireworks tonight. Let's go back to Johnny now.
Well, your Detroit Mercy post-game show continues on here on the USPBL Network. Big 5-1 victory for the Unicorns here today. They hold on to what could have been a lengthy inning here in the 9th after the leadoff walk to Alex Pup. It started with the battle with these starting pitchers, and you might think, the game was 3-0 for a long time. Really, was that a pitcher's duel? It certainly was. Eddington had a strong first couple, then had an 8-batter inning in the 3rd where things really unraveled, but then he pieced it back together. 1, 2, 3 innings in the 4th and 5th. Turn it over to Donovan Thacker, who had a couple scoreless innings as well. DeSanti giving up the home run that ended up extending this game and lead. Ari Sakopoulos with a fly ball to right. You heard from Riggleman there. It was the best start in his pro career, the longest, and the first shutout for him ever as well. He retired his last 5 straight, then handed it over to Keon Taylor, who did a nice job to close things out here tonight.
Yeah, good recovery from these Unicorns, and in particular from Keon Taylor, who suffered the loss in the walk-off on Wednesday against these Hoppers. Boy, really impressed with Adam Riggleman. Just looked so comfortable on the mound, looked really comfortable with how high his pitch count went, got up near 100, was comfortable doing the longest start that we've seen with him. Didn't give up a run. That's the first time he's done that here this season. An impressive win for the Unicorns. They had energy. They had a little bit of offense. Their fielding was much better today than it has been in the last 2 games. And to do all that after losing the first 2 of what's already been a long week and is not done yet, and everybody else in the USPBL is gunning for you and trying to take you off of that throne, it was a really nice win for them.
Beavers and Mammoths coming at you tomorrow on the USPBL Network at 4:30 Eastern Time. The gates will open. Our pregame show will start 15 minutes before first pitch at 5:15 Eastern. Hope to see you then. Good night here today for some baseball. 5-1 your final score in our University of Detroit Mercy post-game show. The Unicorns take another win here today. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy the fireworks if you're in the stands.